Welcome back to Business Today. This week on the Innovator, there is a focus on cybersecurity and innovation therein, even as both online engagements and the risks associated with the online platforms increase proportionately. Here's KTN's Brian George Otieno.
In the recent past, there has been an influx of online activity, with lots of people taking their businesses online. And while all this was happening, some unscrupulous online predators had a field day. Hacking and phishing are just some of the risks they put online users to. Crystal Tech CEO Abubakar Yusuf saw the need to develop a 6-stack cybersecurity innovation to counter any online risks.
The biggest concern is about security. But now, world have moved from the physical security to the cyber security, because everything now is about data, and data is the goal thing. So everything is about the data, and of course not all the data is important. Of course, every company have got different levels of data. Like, for example, your financial data is very important and you don't want it to lose. You have confidential data, you have business data, and you have just your own photos. Maybe even if they get provided, they're in good shape. But if they get leaked, you don't care too much. But so it depends. So cybersecurity is one of the big areas and the most important unit that we have internally.
And so how does the 6-stack cybersecurity innovation work?
The most important actually aspects of about why even cybersecurity exists about actually protecting your digital
assets.
Yes.
Okay.
So we are protecting our digital assets, and every hacker and everybody outside there, everybody just wants to reach to this data. But before we reach to this data, we use something called cybersecurity stack, so that we look at every angle before you reach to this digital asset. So the first one you normally call the data layer.
Okay.
Data layer. In the data layer now, this is where your data sits. Your data sits. This is where now we do the backups. We try to look at the policies around your backups. Is your backup set right? Can you actually restore your backup? And do all that. So there are a lot that is happening here. The second level is actually the application layer. The application layer. The application layer now, this is where now the company's applications sit. Be it the ERPs, be it their different applications that different industries run. And we have security measures that need to be implemented here in terms of user access, the audit trails that we hear about. You see, and most companies actually do a lot in this space, because they don't want anybody who is not authorized to access their actually applications, not to access them. So there is a lot of solutions in this space, but many people are doing very well in this application layer. But now where the problems start becoming is where now we have the endpoint layer. In the endpoint layer, this is where now
People have antiviruses.
this is where you have your antiviruses, and if your antiviruses are really working for Crystal. So the other layer that is also very important is the network layer. The network layer. So this is where now our switches, the routers, the different local area networks actually sit. One that we normally have here is the perimeter. The perimeter. So the perimeter majorly is where our firewall sits, and this is what interfaces the outside world. So that before, very important is the human. Yeah, is the human layer. You see now, if you don't protect the human layer in terms of awareness, trainings, and the likes, then you'll be having maybe a user just clicking on anything because he's not aware of what is happening.
So, how badly is the risk of not being cyber secure?
You don't want even to imagine what will happen if a cyber breach happens. For example, if you look at the medical space or the healthcare, you'll find out that what will happen if a major healthcare is hit. You see, this could even cause death, because what happens is all those machines, all the processes that run there, will actually, all these are data and interconnected networks. So what will happen is one day you just wake up in the morning, go to your computer as a receptionist, and you say, wow, this thing is not working. So which means a patient who was in a bad shape or who was supposed to be admitted cannot be admitted.
Abubakar says that while all the effort should go into structural and software backup, perception is also key in addressing cybersecurity concerns in the country.
When you hear of a cybersecurity as a layman or as a person, I'm sure in your head is a hacker, someone who is sitting somewhere in a dark room, be with some specs, trying to see where they can get access and try to do some few things. But it's good to understand also hackers are in business. The business people. The way you are in business, they're in business of actually with your data and try to actually figure out how we can capture this data in terms of ransom and monetize it. So basically, that is what they do.
It's also important to know that your information and digital assets, and so no one is safe, as he observed, in data shared by developed countries on ransoms sought by hackers.
The biggest problem now we have internally, when you look at the numbers, by the way, and statistics, you'll find that even the developed world, being the US market, you'll find out that in 2017, there was around $2.3 million ransom payment that happened. But look at 2019, 2 years down the line, that figure jumped to around $7.5 billion in terms of ransom payments.
For the Innovator this week on KTN News, I'm Brian George Otieno.